So mental health, I was actually thinking about this, like, I'm not sure who exactly said it, but I think it was a few episodes ago when you guys were talking about alpha, like what alpha means to you. And it kind of reminded me like what kind of like mental health means to me. Like, I mean, mental health is kind of such a buzzword, and like, what does mental health even mean? But I think it's mostly, I think Luca said it, but he was talking about like just being honest with yourself and just like admitting like when like things are, when things are up. And like I feel like that's like kind of hard to just like simply just be honest with yourself, like, oh wait, why am I feeling like this? Like just kind of have a deeper introspection. And I think also Alan was talking about being vulnerable and just sharing. um and then Alex was talking about the pack and having like community and support, and I think that's like basically what mental health is.
ALFA Relations, driving change forward.
Hey, welcome back. I almost didn't see you there, but you're here. So why don't I just pull you over for a minute? Hey, you two, please. We have a wonderful guest on the show today. All right, guys. So let's just get right into it. So today we have Stefania, and Stefania is part of an organization called Vive, which is a mental health awareness initiative under Enactus Concordia, and that's at Concordia University. So she's going to join us and discuss an upcoming Vive event that we think is super important, and we're proud to stand behind it. So welcome, Stefania. Woo!
Hi. Hi, guys. What a wonderful warm welcome. Thank you for having me.
And just a bit of backstory, guys. I mean, here we are on our lovely podcast journey into 2021, and Stefania was so cool to have reached out. I believe she's a pretty top fan. She's listened to most of the episodes there.
All of them, actually.
Oh my god!
Maybe not mine. I'm kind of scared. This might be very cringy, but it's okay.
Don't worry, we got you. So just to get right into it, so Stefania, why don't you tell us a bit about who you are, where you're coming from, and what are you studying at Concordia?
Yeah, so, well, my name's Stefania. I'm currently studying human relations. If all goes well, I graduate fall 2021. What else about me? I used to be at JMSB. Why did I say that with hesitation? I don't know. I used to be at JMSB. Long story short, got my way to human relations, and I love it. So yeah.
Awesome.
Best program.
Yeah.
Favorite part about human relations?
Favorite part?
Yeah.
That it's nothing has to do with math. That's
Yes.
that I'm not nervous in class. That's what it is. That's
You said it. You said it.
Okay, well, first I want to settle an internal debate, and also the guys and I were kind of trying to figure out how to pronounce this. Is it Vive or Vive?
Oh yeah.
Vive. It's
Okay,
Vive.
so
Yeah, okay, don't worry. Someone else thought it was Vive too. Don't worry.
Hold up now. Hold up. What did I say in the
We
introduction?
said Vive, like it's
Oh.
good, but we
wow.
didn't know.
I didn't even pick up on it.
You guys also asked how to pronounce my last name, which I found funny, and I had to write down Restagno. It was
Restagno.
Restagno, yes. There you go.
I just wanted to make sure that if we said her name, we were gonna say it right. Never know.
All good. No, it's good to
So then, could you tell us a little bit more about Enactus Concordia and kind of what that is?
Yeah, so Enactus Concordia is a student-run organization, and the main goal is taking initiative through entrepreneurial action to help create change socially, economically, and environmentally within like a respective community. So Enactus Canada, we're under Enactus Canada, and Enactus Canada has 77 universities across Canada that takes part in various projects, and specifically under Enactus Concordia, there are 5 projects this year, and there's Educo, which helps educate high school students on financial literacy. There's Codel, which empowers women through free coding workshops. There's Embellir, which helps tackle food waste and food security in our city. Then there's InStep, the fourth one, which provides Indigenous students and adults with entrepreneurial skills. And then there's us, Vive, which I'm a part of.
Wow, that's awesome. Those are all great initiatives. I didn't even know Concordia had all of that, honestly.
Yeah, it's mostly, I think, kind of related to JMSB, and that's why they're kind of, because it's more entrepreneurial, so it's like businessy,
Okay.
but anyone could be a part of it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're here today specifically for Vive and the event that is soon to come, I guess. So,
in 2 days.
Yes, that's true. Awesome. Well, then for everybody listening, just could you maybe tell us a little bit more about Vive and the event?
Yeah, so Vive is about spreading awareness through mental health. So the approach that we go by is peer-to-peer versus like faculty to peer. So we believe that we want to mental health being more accessible that way. So we think that it's more accessible that way, and that's why we do peer-to-peer. And so yeah, so the whole goal is to kind of destroy the stigma surrounding mental health.
Right.
And we do so through education. We post some things on Instagram and Facebook. We also held a workshop on procrastination last fall. And also we believe that the ways that we go to, I guess, decrease or end the stigma is to like have a conversation about it and just like go jump in. And that's what we're kind of doing in this event called Don't Bottle It Up. Yeah, so the Don't Bottle Up is is happening January 28th at 7 o'clock. So in 2 days. And yeah.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah, that's an awesome initiative too. How did you get involved with this organization though?
Yeah, well, I just like signed up kind of. They had like a little just had to give your CV, have an interview, it was quick. And yeah, it was I think they do it every fall. So if anyone here is listening that's interested in being a part of any project under Enactus Concordia, they could just follow them on Instagram or Facebook and just be on lookout whenever they're recruiting. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So Don't Bottle Up is all about mental health, right? So we want to know, what does mental health mean to you?
So mental health, I was actually thinking about this, like, I'm not sure who exactly said it, but I think it was a few episodes ago when you guys were talking about alpha, like what alpha means to you. And it kind of reminded me like what kind of like mental health means to me. Like, I mean, mental health is kind of such a buzzword, and like, what does mental health even mean? But I think it's mostly, I think Luca said it, but he was talking about like just being honest with yourself and just like admitting like when like things are, when things are up. And like, I feel like that's like kind of hard to just like simply just be honest with yourself. Like, oh, wait, why am I feeling like this? Like, just kind of have a deeper introspection. And I think also Alan was talking about being vulnerable and just sharing. And then Alex was talking about the pack and having like community and support. And I think that's like basically what mental health is. And it's unfortunate. It is really important, but there's such a stigma behind it. And yeah, I guess like that's kind of what we're doing with the event of talking, just like, not bottling it up and just talking about it.
And just walk us through the details, the specifics of the event. How's that going to unfold exactly?
Yeah. So yeah, we're hosting an event called Don't Bottle It Up, January 28th at 7 o'clock in 2 days. And it's the 4th year that we're doing this. And how I like to describe Don't Bottle It Up as kind of like a circle time. And I'm sure a lot of human relations students could resonate with that, having like
what are you talking about?
I love it. It's cool, but
me too.
But yeah, so it's kind of like a circle time and just like people talking about mental health. And it's a very casual event, like I said before, it's like peer to peer. So we asked like about 7 speakers to that are students to just talk about anything and have like the floor open to them. But we're also hoping that like once they speak, others in the audience and a part of the event, that are a part of the event, that not a part of the event, that are coming in to like be an audience in the event, could I guess have the courage to also speak as well, and I guess get the conversation going. And I guess the goal of the event is in the title itself, to not bottle things up. And yeah, and also a little thing, and I'm sure like a lot of human relations students are gonna like recognize his name, Rhonda Buckland, who is a prof in the the program, is gonna also be in the event.
No
And
way.
yeah, she's gonna be talking about Head and Hands, which she used to work at, and we're donating the proceeds of the donations will be going to Head and Hands. So
wow. That's awesome.
yeah, so she's gonna be talking about that, and it's gonna be fun.
Good. And this will be over Zoom, I imagine?
Yeah, it's over Zoom. It's free unless you want to have like little add-ons to go to have the donation. So like I think we're selling tote bags, keychains, bracelets, things like that.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay, that's good. We'll get those links from you afterwards so we can, we can throw them up everywhere.
100%.
Okay, perfect.
When you first reached out to me and stuff, and I told the team about it, I was really excited about this because really this is a big part of my vision within Alpha Relations, and with the whole Be Your Own Alpha thing that we came out with a few weeks ago. Like really just breaking that stigma and being able to, like Alan said, just be vulnerable with it and share it, because through those stories and through like sharing what you're going through and stuff, you could help and help people get through their own struggles and what they're going through. And I think that's so powerful. So that's one thing I really love about this event, like getting that conversation going and sort of having people be like, it's okay to share, and it's okay not to be okay all the time. It's okay. So yeah.
Yeah. I love that you were talking about last few episodes ago. I think it was the episode about being your own alpha. I teared up. Like it was so touching. I'm like, that you guys are sharing, and it is scary as like, I'm sure it was scary for you guys to talk about it and just like to share, like, I mean, being vulnerable, I guess, is very scary. So like, good on you for just talking about it and starting the conversation.
And I definitely think it's important too, especially if we have a platform like this, like to share those things, and when those events like you're doing with Bottle It Up is just, they can make a big difference in people's lives for sure. So big kudos to you guys for that.
Yeah, thanks.
It's good timing as well,
100%, especially
that's it. Where you guys are coming from, what we're trying to do, the fact that we're stuck at home, it is winter on top of that. So look, there's a lot of factors, that are really, hitting us, in terms of our mental health and our well-being there. So I think this is excellent timing and a great opportunity for all of us to collaborate as best as possible, 100%. Right? And to start that conversation. And hey, just to let you know, all right, that episode, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought at one point I was going to tear up. I felt it. Alex, like, I heard at one point. I know exactly. It's all good. But it's just like it was such an impactful episode. Yeah. And it was we were, number one, we were pretty tired because we recorded that one pretty late. But we worked through it. And we kicked ass. But it's just the emotions were so real, and to know that you guys, you being a fan, a listener on the receiving end, and to know that it's you can feel that, being coming across, and it's just like, it just goes to show how connected, such values, it all is at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's important to share. I mean, it is hard, but like, kudos on you guys too, like for doing this podcast, for even diving deep in the issues that need to be talked about. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I agree with all of you guys, and of course, like being still fairly new, like I'm not going to say we're like the newest podcast out there, but we're not reaching the masses just yet, so we don't expect that our podcast will hit home with everybody that listens, but it's kind of like not a relief, but it feels good to know that the stuff that we're putting out is at least resonating with one person, because at the end of the day, like it only takes one person to start the chain reaction and making a difference. I kind of feel. So it just like, it feels good knowing that if you felt something from the episode, that like maybe somebody else who listened also had that similar feeling, and maybe they were able to talk about it to somebody, and then it just like keeps on going like that. So it makes me really happy. And like Alan said, and I know Luca feels the same way, like that episode like meant a great deal. And like, we're really proud to stand behind the message of being your own alpha. And just like Luca mentioned, like we were all really excited about, having you on the podcast and discussing this event. And even more so, we're extra excited because we're going to get to kind of do our own little mini simulation of, this event. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I don't know what to expect, but you know what? Like, just like the last episode, and what you just said right now about like, talking about like vulnerabilities, that just starts a chain reaction. And what we're doing right now and what we're doing in the event to bottle it up, that's how like the conversation gets going, to just do it, start it. As scary as it is, I guess, to, hopefully that, helps someone else and they can resonate with that. And it also gives them courage to talk about what they want to share.
Yes, that's solid. That's solid. So I'm very intrigued though. What's
Yeah.
going to come out? Because I mean, it's like, Luca, I'm a bit worried about you because I mean,
No, I want to hear it.
I'm not even kidding. He had to put out a fire last time.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
I'm just like, what's going on?
I still have no idea what he means by that.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't think he does.
No, I'm just.
I don't.
I'm purely messing with him.
Okay. Okay, but then yes, so we are going to do a little simulation today, which is exciting because we get to kind of experience the event a little bit. I guess, Stefania, you get to do a little bit of a run through, get a little bit of practice going. So could you discuss that for us, kind of run us through the motions, let us know how it's going to happen, all this stuff?
Yeah. So I kind of prepared like a couple questions. My team and I, we came up with some of the questions. And I guess these are kind of like discussion questions to kind of get the conversation going. But yeah, so like kind of what's happening in the event is we're having speakers to just talk, I guess, to get the ball rolling. But because I don't want to put you guys on the spot, we're going to have these questions for all of us to answer, and that'll hopefully get the conversation going. So without further ado, I like this question because it's kind of like a creative way of saying, who are you / what are you up to? Okay, so what title would you give this chapter in your life?
God damn.
That's good.
I wish we had video so we could all get our faces. That was good.
No, that's a good question, yo.
I mean, it is a hard question because I was reading through the questions.
Great question.
Yeah, to prepare for this podcast, and I'm like, I don't even know the answer. And then I tried to think, and okay, I'll say my answer while you guys are thinking of yours. So I'll give you context before saying the title of this chapter, I guess. So I was thinking, and I'm like, okay, right now I'm like, okay, I'm in human relations, but I'm also kind of preparing for the future, and also, like looking into grad school stuff, looking into volunteering stuff, looking into like jobs, et cetera, volunteering for Vive. And yeah, so I was also thinking of like, we're kind of quarantined. We're doing everything on Zoom. It sucks because, there's no like social aspect to school anymore. All the cameras are off on Zoom. But I kind of made like a mental note to myself to like, no, Steph, you're gonna like turn your camera on. I know this sucks, but like if you start doing, because like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like I'm still in school, so like everyone's camera's off. And like, no, not judging anyone, like no. That's their decision. But like I told myself, no, you're gonna, and I'm really shy. Like in class, like I'm the one that sits in the back. I don't talk. Like I'm just like really shy. I just like go to class, leave. And so I feel like doing that helped me just like become very participatory in class. So I'm literally the person always talking. I'm like, talking, like answering questions, whatever. And so, yeah, the title of my life, the title of this chapter of my life is Social Gathering My Shit Together and cross off social.
Huh. That's good.
So
That's
just like
good.
gathering my
love
shit
that.
together. I was so excited about that. I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to tell them because this is
That's good. I really like that one.
yeah. So what about you guys?
Oh, that's actually tough because I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I've been pondering and fantasizing about life and recent events and thinking, you know what, someone's got to write about this. You know? Oh yeah. You know, and that's it. Luca knows where I'm getting at with this. You know, and yeah, I'm not even gonna joke. Like I have some actual chapters down, but I don't want to spoil what comes next in the future. You know, so I'll try to be creative with my own.
So funny.
With my own. You know what? Okay, so I think given where I am now, all right. Last semester was literally a roller coaster, you know, and I described that. I used that word more than once on the podcast to describe certain events that I was going through with others as well. And that was like that seemed endless. You know, you wake up and you have to do what you have to do while also experiencing all the other hardships around you, whether it's in your family, social wise, you know, the pandemic, of course. And you know, yes, I mean, as funny as it is, and in this case, I mean, I said it out loud. I don't believe that just because we turn a year, things you know, change. You know, you change when you want to change. You know, or life will change around you when it wants to change, just like that. You know, but everything is calmer in a sense these days. You know, like there are still issues that I dealt with back in 2020 that I'm carrying with me now, right? But I feel it within inside myself that a load has been taken off. So literally just, you know, actually that's the chapter, taking off a load, you know. Yeah, and it's the moment, I know. Oh shit, but that's what it feels like. It feels like a load was taken off, right? And I'm
That's
just like,
good.
yeah, I feel like I can breathe and I feel relieved. So taking off the load. Boom.
Good.
You're so funny. I'm dead. Luca, do you have yours? Because if not, I could go.
Yeah, I have one, but you can go if you want first.
No, okay. Okay, so like this whole year, I mean, well, I guess all of last year, it was a huge ride, I would say. Like a lot of things took a dive, especially with COVID and being home almost all the time. Like it's been tough. So I definitely noticed a decline in mental health or just any health. Honestly, like I'm not sick, but it's just like emotionally I'm tired, physically I'm tired. There's just a lot going on, and it's all carried over into 2021. Obviously, like I'm still in school, I'm working, I'm volunteering, I have an internship, and like most of the stuff that I do, like I do carry a lot on my shoulder, and it's slowly getting a little bit better. I could start seeing the light, you know, like graduation is 11 weeks away now. Like I'm almost done, but I know that graduating isn't going to wipe away all the other issues I got going on. So if I had to title my life at the moment, it would be bittersweet, but the sweet is more bitter.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what I would call it.
Nice.
Wow. Gotta think about that one.
I would say right now the chapter of my life I'm in, it would be called like the transition period. Okay. Just to keep it, I guess. Huh? What are you about to say, Alan? I seen that face. What do you
say? You should call it putting out fires.
Oh my god! There's no fire.
Are you a fireman? Were you a fireman in your past?
Yo.
I don't know. Maybe Alan thinks I am.
Huh? Luke is my fireman, metaphorically.
Yeah. So the transition period. So to keep it as, I guess, as vulnerable as I can within this episode, you know, transition period is always a scary time, you know. And I remember during one of my therapy sessions last semester, I sort of spoke about how I have usually a big mental health dip throughout those transitions, like from high school to college. It was like that was like probably one of my biggest dips, like right after there, like just that feeling of just being like alone and that loss of identity. And then after, like in the last episode, I spoke about like how the transition from college to university was tough because I went through like a whole breakup and all that stuff I had to deal with, and that was just also like a really tough transition also. So now like here I am in another chapter of a transition in my life where I have to go from, you know, the school life to the real world type life, you know. And yeah, so it's definitely a challenge right now, I guess, just sort of getting back on that road, I guess, that I was riding throughout the last few years, and just finding my own path right now as I transition to the, like I said, the real world and the whole workforce and all that fun stuff.
Is it fun? Is it?
Hopefully, that's
Hopefully,
the goal.
that's the goal. That's
Hopefully.
true.
Hopefully.
Yes.
I mean, see, the podcast stuff is fun. It's just the other stuff that
That's it.
we'll have to go down. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great.
You know, Sirius XM, all things comedy. Contact us, please. You know. Oh, boy.
You have an amazing radio voice, Alan.
Thank you. You know, a lot of people have been telling me that, and to tell me to sign up for other things that are rather pretty lucrative. Yep. Let me see. What
I heard in last podcast.
Oh yeah. There's
Audible. Please contact Alan West.
That's it. You know, hook me up. Let's see what happens. Yep.
Oh God.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next question, a little deeper. What is the best thing you've done for your mental health recently? And what do you do in general?
I got mine. Yeah. I'm gonna
Yep.
go. While you guys
Okay,
think about it.
Yep.
Okay, so more recently, I started getting into like a really good skincare routine, and I feel like although I'm just blobbing stuff on my face, it gives me like 15 minutes where I don't have to do anything else but focus on that, which has been fun. And I've also noticed that literally just lying down with my dog brings me unreasonable amount of like joy. Like I don't understand where all of this love and joy comes from, but I just lie down next to her and I'm just like, damn B, like wow, thanks for being there, you know?
Pet therapy.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, like she doesn't do anything. She doesn't say anything. Most of the time, she's pawing at.
I hope she doesn't say anything. That would be alarming.
Honestly, I would love that. Like if I could talk to my dog all the time and only my dog.
Alex,
Okay,
I'm here for
I'm
you.
good. I'm
Just make
good.
sure you know where the treats are.
And also, like I'm a caregiver for my grandfather, so I go to my grandparents' house quite often during the week, and just being at their house, I also find helps my mental health in the way that like I know that I'm there like with my grandparents and they're just so cute and old, and even though it's difficult at times, you know, like I'm just there and I'm able to be with people that like I really love, so that's helped a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Nice.
I got it.
Alright, guys. Oh, go. Sorry.
Oh, okay. The biggest thing for me that I've been doing recently, and this was a goal that I was building up to, but now it has a bigger, profound meaning in my life, you know, more than ever, especially, you know, given the context, and just something that I really want is, you know, reconnecting. You know, reconnecting with old faces, with new faces too. But the whole point is just like reaching out, you know, calling, texting people. That was something that I was really lacking of, you know, and I think there are others out there that were also lacking of, you know, such a need, you know, to that connection with people. So from the moment that I finished school, I mean, I gave myself a bit of time, but I mean, I wanted to tell those who, you know, most intimate in my life, you know, in my closest circles, you know, what had been going on. As I did mention that I am coming out of a relationship, you know. On top of that, there's, you know, a lot of family drama, people to take care of, there's sickness. But, you know, there was now that headspace, or rather I was in a good space to be doing that, and also to be listening at the same time about what's going on with, you know, with my friends, you know, and people that just want to talk. You know, I don't need to know you so well, as long as there's a willingness to do so. And it's amazing, you know, what has come out of all that. So that's, you know, currently what's been going on, and it's absolutely like fantastic. Like just the other you know, day, you know, a friend of mine from the program had reached out, and we're having a great discussion, and she was being so supportive towards the podcast and our initiative and what we're doing. And it's just been great to, you know, to catch up, you know, regarding how we feel as, you know, we are graduates, and just like what comes next, but knowing that, you know, let's just keep focused, you know, let's keep strong, because, you know, better days are ahead. And I think it's just that honesty that feeds into it. that comes all around you, and you can feel that. You can feel that coming from another person. They can feel that coming from yourself, and just practicing that feels good. It feels it feels like like a load is being taken off, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Sorry. But no, and like that's quite rewarding. So I'm doing that. I love doing that. Um in terms of my regular life, what I do, well, before the curfew, late night walks.
Mm.
I love that. I love that, especially like during the warmer months, I mean, you would have the trees, the leaves would be out, you have the wind, just hitting right through it, and you have the stars and the moon if it's out, depending on the time of the month, and there's nobody. There's typically no one. And I live downtown, and I like to walk up to, towards the mountain. It's right at the base of where I live. So walking up there, whether it's in the woods, or it's going through Westmount, I'm in the middle of the street sometimes, and like there's no cars for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm just like, well, this is my area, and it's just so calming and relaxing. So that's a bit hard to do right now, but so I just have to time myself and get it done before 8 o'clock. But just walks and talks, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm sure this podcast also helps as well. Like you're just talking with friends.
Hands down, hands down,
Yeah.
hands down. That's probably number one, to be honest. That's a given.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'd say too, like just like, listening to your podcast as well, like even podcasts in general. Like I always like to do things while listening.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Luca?
I would say what I've been doing lately is just trying to learn new things and just, I guess, taking on different little challenges within my life. I think this podcast, like you said, is a big part of, like, I guess right now just my mental health, and I spend like a lot of times, I guess, just working on different like things for like social media and stuff that really makes me happy and stuff. And I guess just doing things that just taking the time to do things that I'm gonna enjoy and spending time with people that I actually just want to spend time with and stuff. I think that's been really big for my mental health. And like I said, like during these transition periods, like usually my mental health does dip, but so far I've been feeling really optimistic and really like just positive on the future. And I think there's so much going on, I think. And I've just been trying to keep that optimism going forward. But when I was thinking about this episode, one thing I was thinking about was journaling. And I haven't done that, but I've really been thinking about that, especially as someone like me that deals a lot with anxiety and just overthinking, and how when I get into that like anxiety state where like I'm almost like freaking out and I need to almost like share what's on my chest, like that feeling of relief when I finally do say what I need to talk about, like makes such a big like difference, I find. So like one thing I've been really thinking about maybe is starting to journal. And whenever I have like those thoughts or those like anxiety attacks where like I'm feeling like I'm overthinking and I'm sort of spiraling in my head, to just take that time to actually maybe write it down. Just because once you get it out on paper, once you sort of get it out of your system, you feel like so much better and you have a lot more clarity. That's one thing I've been really considering
Nice.
with like dealing with my own mental health and stuff.
That's awesome.
I love that. I used to journal every day in 2016. Every single day, like instead of going to bed and just going on my phone scrolling mindlessly, I used to be like, no, this is what you're going to do. You're going to dedicate your time to journaling. And I used to journal every single day, even if it was like stupid things like what I did when I was working at my retail job, like, oh, this happened. And then like it just doing it and having the habit. And like every single time I'd gravitate to my phone and just like, instead of having that time, which is like, procrastination basically, dedicated to like yourself. And yeah, I love that. It helped a lot.
Nice.
That's a reminder I need to get back to it. But yeah, so this is really embarrassing, but I don't care. It's not that embarrassing.
Have you met this group yet?
It's not that embarrassing at all. Not because of you guys. Just
go for it.
Okay, so I had a dance party in my room listening to the song Chakras by Queen Herbie.
Ooh.
I love Queen Herbie and I haven't listened to her in a while. So yeah, it was just so much fun. And I'm like, wow, I should do this more often.
Nice.
And it was like, yeah. So it's like kind of something that I've told myself to do more. Like before this podcast, before we started recording, I was just waiting in the waiting room and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm so anxious. Like, so I'm like, you know what? Let me just like listen to music to hype myself up. And that helps.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Did you start dancing a bit?
You know what? I was just like
All right.
doing like shoulder stuff.
You're grooving. You're grooving. Nice.
Yeah, I was grooving. But yeah, so let's jump into another question. I'm not really sure which one to ask, but you know what?
Oh, these are great. Honestly, yeah. Kudos to you and
Yeah.
your team.
Thanks. Okay, so okay, you know what? I'm gonna ask a very it's gonna get a little harder. Okay, so are you avoiding any hard conversations with yourself?
Like, could it be, yes, it's with yourself, but one that it's a conversation that needs to be with another person, or
I guess
yeah,
anything.
anything?
Yeah.
Okay, I already have mine. When you
You go for it.
Oh yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, hands down. Uh, given the fact, keeping it all theme, Luca was talking about transitions. Major transition has just occurred in my life. Or a few also coming out of school, right? And here we are, 2021. Communication, within my family, got a bit strained, between myself, and another family member, and that's really unfortunate, because this person is, I mean, it's my world, it's they mean so much to me, and I imagine, hopefully, I still mean something to them, I'm kidding, but the point is that I think it's always harder, when you have to be dealing with family, because we are the most vulnerable with our family. They know us the best at the end of the day, our inside or out. And just to be having those conversations, knowing that, put your pride aside, put the ego. If you think you're right, put that aside. If you think you're wrong, whatever it is, or you sing across the platform, and just knowing, can we just talk? Right? Can you and I just be completely decent, despite where we're coming from, despite the imperfections, right? And can we just like sit down and have that conversation? I want that conversation. I believe the other, member here also wants that conversation, but it's knowing where we're coming from emotionally speaking. And I think that's what makes it harder, where I'm a bit more hesitant, to know how they would react, And I think in a sense that they could totally be feeling something along the lines of what I just mentioned. So yeah, that is something, that has been on my mind quite lately. But I mean, heck, to be completely honest, just talking about it now is giving me a little sense of like motivation, to get out there and to want to talk to this person. So
Good.
Currently up.
Wow, that's so nice. Well, I hope it all goes well.
Hopefully,
I'm sure it will.
hopefully so. Yeah, I'll call Luca if there's a fire.
Oh,
God, Alan.
I'm just rolling with it now. That's it.
I think for me, it's not really that I'm putting off this conversation so much. It's just that I have to really sit down one day and think about it, and sooner rather than later. But I've been teetering around the idea of going to grad school. I'm still not 100% sure if I want to do it or if I don't want to do it, because I'm so close to being done, like my undergrad, and I just don't want to think about any more school right now. But at the end of the day, like, it would be an extra year of my life to do my graduate diploma. So I don't know.
I think we're looking into the same one. Youth work?
The youth work graduate diploma, yeah. So I don't know. I have to really think about it, because, well, I mean, deadline is only by March 1st, so I have time, but I need to figure out whether I'm gonna do it or not. So that's what's up.
Okay. How about you, Luca?
This is a tough one. I feel like it's a tough one just because I've always had like sort of the mindset where I always just want to improve in some sense. So I'm always like in my head and sort of overthinking and reflecting on myself and what I do. So that keeps me like always in a state of like just keeping myself in check. I think one thing that I definitely put off that I need to deal with is more just my overthinking and stuff, and just learning to just trust myself with my decisions and what I do. Because there's I feel like there's anxiety is like something that like pretty much controls my life, and it sort of steers me throughout every day and stuff. And a lot of things I do is just controlled by it. So it's just, I think just having that hard talk and just learning to, or just having that talk with yourself, just to learn to like just trust yourself, I guess, and just just taking baby steps maybe on working on that anxiety, and just seeing that it's okay, to do whatever and not overthink it all the time. So I think that's probably a hard talk with myself, because that's something I've dealt with so long, and I've just sort of rolled with it because it always worked. But it's definitely something that, does like impact my mental health and stuff in my life. So
Yeah. I could relate. Like, when I was thinking about this question, I don't know. The only thing I could come up with was like no, because I'm the type of person that there's no point to being like dishonest with yourself. Like, deep down, there's like something going on because it's yourself, right? So like, I mean, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's hard to like really know, unless you really try to feel it and just like kind of force yourself to just feel the emotions and roll with it. But yeah, I'd say like I've come to the point to like trying to be honest with myself as much as possible, just because it saves so much time.
Mhm.
And it's so much easier to just like, you know what, this is actually the problem, don't try to deny it. And that like helps further your progress and your mental health in general. So yeah, I'd say that's my answer.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of feeling,
Oh.
fill in the blank.
Oh.
I want to give myself permission to feel blank.
Oh.
Alex puts her hand on her head.
I think I got mine already.
Oh, Luca, go.
I think I got one.
Go for it.
I'll say free. Free. Yeah. I think like just going back to the last question, like those like sort of they're sort of correlated together, where that anxiety keeps me like restrained within my own brain. So it'd be nice to just be free, give myself permission to not overthink and be free with my brain and my thoughts.
That's really nice.
I like that answer, Luca.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to top.
I know. Luca, you have such good answers. Even last few episodes, I'm like, God damn it, why are you making me cry?
Oh boy. He knows how to get to the feels.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a hard one. I'm not even sure myself. What about you guys?
I have the word, but what's the phrase again? Just
I want to give myself permission to feel
forgiveness.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Alan.
There we go.
Yeah.
The big guns.
Luca, that's just for those who are listening. That's sprinkling a bit of pepper right there for you.
Those who know, no.
Those who know, no. A little inside joke from 435. That's it. Okay. All right. So yes, forgiveness. I'm pretty hard on myself for a lot of things. I don't show it. But I am willing to talk about it, and I'm willing to improve upon it as well. And I need to learn how to just come to terms with the fact that situations will happen, and yes, there's a certain responsibility on my part that I own up to, but I also have to understand that I'm a goddamn human being like the rest of us here, and that means I'm not going to get it right. That means I will and I won't, and sometimes I'll be completely stumped like the rest of us, and that being the case means that then that's okay, right? To truly open your eyes and realize that this is what's happening, and there's no guidebook how to live, the perfect human being life, right? And if you have that, well, just respectfully saying, go fuck yourself. But no. And I think that's when I think of that feeling, to want it, like it feels good. It feels like that's the right direction to put myself towards. I'm just not used to it, but I know I'm aware, and it's something I want. Then that's something that I'm working towards currently. And as it's been mentioned, Luke is in his therapy that we signed up at McGill. I am as well. That's one of my latest goals. To be hacking away at. Yeah.
I am too.
Oh, nice. How about that?
I'm taking 451 with Dr. Farmer.
No,
so
you don't say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Graham, the Godfather, he's the spot here. That's it. Okay.
I listen to that podcast.
That's awesome.
And he's our TA, so like it's funny.
Right.
I'm like, oh.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Alex, did you go?
I did not.
Oh my God,
it's okay. Okay, so I couldn't really find the word I wanted, so it was gonna be 2 words. But basically it's just like allow myself not to feel overwhelmed. Because I find like right now, especially with the semester, like I have 2 internships going on. I have 2 jobs, and I have like 2 classes. So it's everything comes in twos right now, and it's not fun. So especially it only being like the second week of school, and I'm already feeling like really overwhelmed. I just want to get to the point where I could kind of like take a little bit of like a step back and just go day by day without being like, oh my God, I have to do this, and then getting home at the end of the night and just wanting to like knock out, you know? So I think that's what I have to go with.
Mm-hmm. That's a good answer. I couldn't really think of anything to say to that. But the only thing I came up with is like, I want to give myself permission to feel, period.
Perfect.
Oh,
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so we have one last question. Okay, so what is something you want to leave in 2020 in terms of your mental health, and what is something you want to bring in 2021?
That's good. It's going to be quite the pause to cut.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Oh boy. Okay.
I think I have mine.
Okay.
And so honestly, I don't think I would leave anything or take anything. I think I would just have everything stay the same. Just for the simple fact that I feel like if I were to leave something in 2020 that's like, let's say, like burdening me or something that I'm overwhelmed about, I would like by default just have to bring it with me in 2021, because like all of the struggles and problems that we had in 2020 didn't just disappear because like, you know, the year changed, you know? So I think everything that's going on in my life at the moment, like literally everything, like it has its place, as unfortunate as that is, that I can't just, you know, kick it to the curb. Like it has its place. And because it has its place, like I know it has its purpose, and I just don't really necessarily see it right now. But I know that by the time that everything eventually smooths over, like I'll know, like, okay, this was meant for this, you know, like I don't know if I'm being clear.
I
But
love that. I love that answer.
I think it makes sense. But yeah.
I feel what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I would say the same thing. Like, you learn every year, right? Or you learn, period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I would just like bring that on and then continue forth 2021 with more, but also like being patient with myself and not like overdoing it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. What about you guys?
I'm with you both there. You know, like I mean, in the sense that just because a year is, you know, now we add a one. You know, like I mean, still the same problems as yesterday. You know, some problems have, you know, diminished or are a bit easier to navigate to deal with. But in a sense, for my own mental health, I think it's just, I mean, going through that time period then a couple of months ago versus now is knowing that I felt trapped, that that no time was being made for my mental health, right? That I mean, getting stuck in the loop, as we talked about a few times, you know, stuck looking at the four corners here, you know, doing that for 10, 12 hours at a time, and then you go to bed and then wake up and repeat, right? And deal with the other stuff. And it's kind of like making a prison of your mind, you know? And I feel that I'm now out of that, and being out of that prison is to take, you know, what I've learned with that experience and to just work at it because I want to work at it. You know? So once, I mean, having that realization now, and also just that opportunity for there to be time to do so, right? So now I'm just like, I'm out of that system, and I'm very grateful that I still came out on top, but it's just like, now I have the time and I'm out here, you know, and I can do what I want. And what I want to do is just, you know, take, you know, the problems of yesterday, you know, think about them today to make a better tomorrow.
Yes.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I love that.
That was good.
Look, could you top that?
I'll try.
No pressure.
Damn. You know, one thing that's really like been like since you asked me that question, the whole giving myself permission to be free thing. I think one thing I want to leave behind in 2020 would be the whole overthinking side of me and the whole anxiety side of me. Yeah, just because like I said, I feel like it really does control my life in every aspect. Like every little thing I do, I'm second guessing myself or I'm overthinking it. And you know, it would be nice just to be able to have or give myself permission, because at the end of the day, it is all in my brain. It's no one else. It's all me and my thoughts and my own mental that's pretty much beating myself up for no reason, you know. But and that's something that, you know, I need to learn to give myself permission, like you asked in that question, giving myself permission to, you know, not overthink and go through it where I'm in a place where, you know, I'm able to, you know, go through life without second guessing myself on every second. So that's definitely one thing I want to leave behind in 2020 and work on going forward. And what I want to take with me is pretty much this we're doing right now, opening up more about mental health. You know, I put a lot of like when I thought about like the whole Be Your Own Alpha brand, I've had a lot of emphasis on like, you know, on it being for people that suffer in silence. And I feel like I've been always the type of person that doesn't share feelings. I don't really show any emotion in really regards except for like laughing and all that happy side, but I don't show anything else. You know, no one really knows if I'm ever going through anything. And I feel like you know, it's unhealthy. And I've gone through it, and I know that it's important to like not bottle it up and actually share it. And you know, so yeah, I think just opening up more and doing things where I'm sharing more how I'm feeling and not suffering in silence anymore. And I think this platform with the podcast has been a big way for me to actually share a lot of my mental health and what I'm going through and stuff in life. And I think that's been really important. And just also like having people like Alan that, you know, I've been able to open up a little more about, you know, throughout the semester about what's going through my mind and my anxieties. And you know, that's just important. That's one thing I want to bring with me, just opening up more and not keeping it all within no more.
God damn
I
it.
love
Love
that.
it.
Who's cutting onion?
I actually was cheering.
Son of a
You guys
bitch.
did it
Love
again. Goddamn.
Oh shit. That was great.
Well, speaking of don't bottle it up, January 28th, Thursday, the year 2021.
2020.
Time 7 to 9-ish.
Okay.
And it's going to be on Zoom.
Perfect. That's
Everyone's used to that.
Mhm.
No,
And
it's gonna be
yeah.
the link will be posted on the association's Facebook page at JMSB.
Yeah, it's on Instagram's, Vive's Instagram and Facebook. So you can go on Facebook, press going, click on the event. It's free. If you want to donate, yes, it's gonna go to Head and Hands. And yeah, I'm excited.
That's so awesome.
In 2 days from now.
Woohoo!
All links will be linked down below in our description of the video. So if you're interested and want to participate or donate, please do so down in the description. You'll find the link for it.
Yep, and with our Instagram post, I'll make sure to tag them. So if you're coming from Instagram, you could just directly go to their page.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. That's perfect. Stefania, thank you so much for number one, reaching out, being here, you know, and being vulnerable with us, and you know, facilitating this wonderful process. You know, I genuinely had a fantastic time, and I'm feeling pretty good with myself right now. So thank you.
Me too.
Me three.
Right. Hey.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy you guys said yes. I was so nervous to be on the podcast, but like I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I just like, you know, went for it and conquered my fears.
Boom.
It was so much fun.
It was.
And yeah.
One question for you, right?
Yeah.
Who would you like, and this is something that we're starting to implement now. Just like you've come here, you've talked about what we've just discussed. You know, what is an idea or a person rather that you'd like to nominate to be on our podcast in the future?
Oh my gosh, that is a hard question.
Reverse.
You know what? The first person that came to mind, and I don't know why, but it was, I don't know if anyone had Elizabeth Hunt, a prof at our.
I've heard of her. I've heard good things.
I've heard of her as well, but I never had her as a prof.
No, okay. Well, I had her for Power 335, I think.
Nice.
Power and Conflict. So yeah, she was a really great storyteller. She was very, very, very vulnerable, and that's like something that would scare me. I mean, like to a certain extent, like being vulnerable in this podcast. I wouldn't say it's my limit, but at the same time, like I feel like she hones her vulnerability.
Nice.
And yeah, I guess you could
All right.
Ask her if you'd like.
That sounds pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that down. So before we sign out, I do believe that we don't even have to tell you, but typically, at the end we have our guests say a few magical words and
Yeah. Man, it's so funny because I'm like, I know this is gonna come,
Yeah.
and now I forget the line.
Yeah.
okay, wait, Luca,
Wait, wait,
hold up your sleeve. There.
Oh,
I go-
yes.
Right?
Oh my god.
And then you can add a few, like pronouns at the beginning there. And the trick is you can say it however you want.
Yes.
Yes.
Goodness. Okay. Okay.
He's
Oh,
just
God.
up with his arm.
Wait, let me just do a quick plug. I'll give you a second. Quick plug. Hoodies are still available. If you want on Instagram, go follow us at ALFA Relations.
Okay, so speaking of ALFA Relations, we're ALFA Relations and we're driving change forward.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Insert
Yeah.
music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
perfect. All right.
Thank you all for listening. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Follow on all platforms. Peace out, y'all.
Beautiful day.
Bye.